What's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive. So you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
This feeling is brought to you by Aleve for back pain relief. What feeling is that, you ask? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from back pain. That move how you want to, not how you have to feeling. That keep going through your day without slowing you down feeling. The kind that brings you back to yourself all day long without interruption. Oh, yeah. Because Aleve offers long-lasting pain relief. Feel up to 12 hours of back pain relief with one dose. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
Water is essential to life.
Humans are 60% water.
Water carved the Grand Canyon, and it pummels boulders into sand.
But a little water leak in your roof can cause mold and deterioration of your home.
Let Denver Roof Pros stay on top of your roof with our preventative roof service plans to prolong your roof's life and protect your home and the people you love.
Check it out at DenverRoofPros.com.
No matter if it hails, rains, or snows, nobody knows your roof like the Denver Roof Pros. Hey!
When it's time to sell your home, you hope your agent knows the market, timing, pricing, interest rates, neighborhoods, staging open houses, understanding contracts, completing paperwork. Oh, and can actually help guide you on your big move. Don't hope, know. When you hire a Weichert agent, you can be sure you've got a partner who will guide you every step of the way, from listing to closing and everything in between. Weichert, dream, move, home. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. A lot of new firms aren't even from Colorado, but we are. For 47 years, we've known Colorado law, we fought for our neighbors, and we won for our community. If you've been injured, call 303 Good Law.
Dental phobia? Consider Sedation Dentistry with Clarkson Dental. Their highly trained team will lead you through an exceptional dental experience from that first fearful call all the way through to aftercare. Call the most experienced sedation dentist and staff. Clarkson Dental, coloradosedation.com.
From cowboy flying aces to local astronauts, discover the Coloradans who changed flight forever. Determined to fly. Now open at Wings Over the Rockies. Learn more at wingsmuseum.org.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Philip Lindsay. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight. Taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
And welcome to another edition of Denver Sports Tonight. Oh, finally. The last time we'll talk about the Broncos for 5 weeks.
I don't know about that one, Justin.
Who needs practice, right? The Broncos get a break. They don't have to be at, what is it called? It's not Dove Valley anymore.
Broncos Park, powered by Common
Spirit. By Common Spirit. There you go. By the way, welcome to Denver Sports Tonight. Justin Adams with you. Here with my brother Dante Gomez. Yeah, like I was saying, hey, the Broncos, you don't need practice tomorrow. Minicamp over. So for the next 5 weeks, the Broncos will get a chance to go and rest, stay safe, don't do anything dumb, please, especially on a Thursday for back-to-back weeks. But they'll get a chance just to go and relax. And the next time that we will see these guys on the field will be during training camp. Dante, I'm there's times where you look and say, okay, you have a lot of questions about a team. You look around and say, okay, here's some holes, and how will this work out? This year is a lot different for the Broncos. And it's one of the main reasons why you can look up and Sean Payton says, you know what? It's okay. We don't need another practice. Because let me tell you, back in the day, we'll say in Vic Fangio era, it used to be a field day on the last day. I know you remember that, right? You remember how it was, right? You had a field day. And, I mean, there would be so much disagreement, great radio fodder, but so many people who just hated that. Why do you need a field day? You need to go be on the field and work. But now you look in, there won't be a field day. There'll be a moving day. So the Broncos will move from their, current building into the brand new facility, which is awesome. Got a couple of friends who work with the Broncos, and they say it's amazing, okay? Locker room, everything just looks amazing, all right? They're going to move in there. But you don't have to go and make a lot of moves. And you don't need that extra practice where you have grown-ups in the building. And that's exactly what you got with Sean Payton. Year number 4, you already know what you got with your crew. Only question really you have is Jonathan Cooper, to be honest with you. Is he going to be on the field? Is he not? Will he be suspended? Is everything going to be all right? That's really the only question that you have. Other than that, Bo Nix, will your ankle be fine? He told us told us yesterday everything's going to be good. Hey, it's just a broken bone. Look, broken bones heal. Okay, well, we'll trust you. But it just feels like for the next 5 weeks and going into training camp, knock on wood, obviously, for no injuries, that this team, for I believe the first time in over a decade, you can look at this roster and have no questions about it. Let's just get on the field. Let's get going, Dante.
Yeah, they're plug and play at this point. It is the first time in a long time you can say that about this Broncos team where there's not a lot of question marks. And that's why Sean Payton gave the guys tomorrow off. And good for those guys. And they went out there and practiced hard. And that was one of my bigger takeaways from watching out today was the competitive spirit out there. And it was a hot one today. Anybody that was outside today, it was hot. And these guys were working their tails off. They were talking trash to one another from the offense to the defense. They were coming together, safety and a cornerback, celebrating after big plays. The competitive juices out there were incredible to watch. And I don't know if I can say they deserve the day off tomorrow, but I have no problems with them having tomorrow off. You were talking about a veteran-led group there, a team that knows what they are, not a lot of question marks there. I don't know if you saw this. The Rams just didn't have minicamp this year. They were just like, nope, we're good. So
No, I love it because the Rams are like, hey, we have Myles Garrett. Hey, guys, have the rest of the summer off.
We also have the MVP in Matthew Stafford.
Have the rest of the summer off. Right. What do we need to be on the field for? You know what we are. Apparently, they might even get Aaron Donald back, but whatever. We'll see if that actually happens. But it's just so Rams, right? Where everybody kind of zigs one way, they just zag. Remember that one year where, you still had your guys in preseason and going through that process, and then the Rams are like, nah, we're good. No, we don't need our starters to be in preseason. We're good. We'll see
I don't think they
one.
took any snaps in preseason.
None. We'll see you week 1.
So the Broncos aren't going to that extent of not having minicamp at all, but I think, again, you can have tomorrow off, and I don't think anybody should be up in arms complaining that these guys aren't getting enough work in. These guys are a veteran-led group. You got Bo Nix in year 3, right? Coming up here. Mm-hmm. Sean Payton knows what the deal is. Vance Joseph knows what the deal is. You got a new offensive coordinator, but at least he's been with the team in previous years here, so it's not completely foreign to him. The only really new big piece of this team is Jalen Waddle. And no offense to wide receivers, but you just kind of got to do your job. It's not like he has to know exactly what the blocking schemes are and everything like that. Mm-hmm. You run your route, you get open, you do Jalen Waddle stuff, we're going to be completely fine here. So I am A-okay with these guys having 2 good days of work and skipping tomorrow.
I'm interested to get your thoughts because you were there. You were at practice today. What are some things that you saw? What are some players that stood out to you? While you had a chance to look at practice today?
Well, first and foremost, we saw Bo Nix participate in 7-on-7, which was a step up from what we saw him do yesterday, which was just individual work. He threw some dots, threw a beautiful back shoulder pass to R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey, obviously, offensive weapon, not just a running back. He's going to be catching a lot of balls this year as well. So Bo Nix looked good out there. I thought that was impressive. The defense had their way for a little bit with this Broncos offense. It's Jarrett Stidham, it's Sam Ehlinger, it's who's the Baylor quarterback? I can't remember. Sorry, Robertson out there throwing passes. So not exactly a starting caliber quarterback that they're going up against, but the defense looked pretty good. There was a moment where number 41, his name's escaping me now, middle linebacker, kind of edge rusher as well.
Drew Sanders. Hold on. Let's start there.
Okay.
How can you forget this guy?
How can I forget him? He's never on the field.
That's a good point. But you know what's interesting? Because Sean Payton talked about him today. And you talk about a guy who we all have forgot about. We all forgot about Drew Sanders. He could make things happen. And he could also make this roster.
He made some stuff happen today. He hit a sweet spin move on Mike McGlinchey on the right side. Well, depends if you're looking at offensively or defensively.
Left side if you're on defense, right side on the offense.
Correct, exactly. On the opposite side of Nick Bonito, and it was like he didn't get touched from Mike McGlinchey. He took a hard step outside and then spun back inside and just had free reign at, I think it was Jarrett Stidham on this play. But yeah, it was one of those where it's like, oh, who's number 41? Oh, it's Drew Sanders, the guy that we haven't really seen too much of. We don't really know a lot about him yet.
You know, when you talk about guys who you almost forget, when you look at the roster, you say, wait a minute, he could do something. Drew Sanders is one of those guys for sure who could be able to, let's call it what it is. If Jonathan Cooper is suspended or whatever happens there, hey, we need another pass rusher. That could be your guy. Drew Sanders could be your guy. Here's another guy to look at too, Quay Robinson. And it's interesting because Quay Robinson only had 150 snaps, 12 tackles, not even a full sack. He had a half a sack. And yet, all that you hear from practice is that, hey, this guy's looking good. He could be a potential starter. We're talking about a second-year guy drafted in the 4th round, but could be a guy that could really make some things happen. So those are two guys that I will personally be keeping an eye on.
Real quick, I want to correct myself. It was Jonah Ellis that put the spin move. Drew Sanders did make a great play as well, rushing the passer. I'm getting them confused a little bit here. But Jonah Ellis put the sweet spin move. Drew Sanders did also have a off the edge attack at Jarrett Stidham where the play ended at that moment. But either way, both guys showing the depth at edge rusher there regardless.
We'll let that slide. Look, we got time, right? We got all training camp to be able to figure out all these other guys. But it is great to see Jonah Ellis be able to make plays too. And isn't that what he did last year?
All he does, he steps in and makes plays.
And you know what? When you're looking at a guy, again, you're looking at the roster. And that's really the biggest thing about this team and another main reason why you could say, well, we're good. We don't need practice. We don't need another day of practice. The depth. It was the same thing that we talked about last year. You still have that same depth. One guy goes down, we just plug and play another player in, and we'll be just fine. That's what we're finding out from this team right now. Okay, what are some other things that stood out to you?
Real quick, I'm going to pile on what you're just talking about, the depth of this team. I would imagine the players that are on the roster bubble, let's say don't make the Broncos roster at the end of training camp here, I would imagine those are some of the best players to not make a roster around the country. I feel that good about this Broncos depth. Outside of that, Cortland Sutton made a handful of good catches, good plays down the field. One in the seam, which we don't really see Sutton in the seam too much. Made a great catch over Riley Moss there. Hakeem Butler on the outside probably made the catch of the day. Kind of mossed a guy and then took it for a touchdown there. So shout out Hakeem Butler. Kind of an awkward path to where he is now, drafted by the Cardinals, didn't really play much for them, goes to the UFLs, been a standout player in the UFL. Broncos invited him into camp a couple weeks ago here, and yeah, he went out there and made a great play. He looks a little funny in number 30 as a wide receiver, so maybe they'll get that straightened out by the time training camp comes around. But yeah, play of the day, or at least catch of the day for Hakeem Butler.
No, for a guy like Hakeem Butler, you got to earn your keep. You keep that number 30. You got to earn it. Like, you got to earn a wide receiver number. I mean, I don't think we realize this, but guys, when you talk about the depth, he has to take somebody's job. And one of the guys that is talked about a lot is Marvin Mims. Let's just call it what it is. Marvin Mims, brand new agent. Oh, you're bringing Hakeem Butler. Oh, you can kind of read around the lines and say, okay, Marvin Mims might be the odd man out. But when I look at Marvin Mims, my thing to you is this. Are you out of your mind? Why would the Broncos trade him? Why would you want to trade Marvin Mims? Makes no sense to me.
Well, I think there's a couple good points of he's going into the last year of his contract, and if you're not planning on re-signing him, bringing him back, maybe flip him for an asset, get a 4th-round pick or whatever you end up getting for him.
Or sometimes you just get a great asset, which is called a ring, and you just keep them on your roster. And if you lose them, you lose them. It is what it is. Look, NFL teams lose guys every year. That's why they call it free agency. Guys are gone all the time. And if you have a chance to keep a dynamic playmaker, an explosive, punt return, kick return specialist, a big play threat, why would you not want this guy on your team? Oh, and by the way, he's not a finished product as a wide receiver. He's still developing as a wide receiver. And you can see what happened in the playoffs, okay? When you had two guys go down, right? Pat Bryant went down. Hamstring. Couldn't go, right? Trying to think of the other wide receiver that went down.
Think somebody got a concussion?
Yeah. You have concussions. You have all these other different things that happen, right? And then you can say, okay, who's somebody that we could be able to go and rely on? Marvin Mims. He stepped up. 12 receptions in the playoffs, over 100 yards, had a big game against the Buffalo Bills.
I think he was the leading receiver.
He was the leading receiver. Had the go-ahead touchdown and then, the field goal, and, Broncos finally won it in the end. But even with the hurt Bo Nix, who did he throw the ball to at the end? Oh, he threw the ball to Marvin Mims, who was wide open, by the way. Look, I understand this idea of saying, hey, get an asset. I understand how, look, it's all about can we go and stock up for next year's draft or what can we be able to get out and all these other different things. But here's the one thing you got to do. You don't want to go and trade somebody as talented as Marvin Mims. Look, when you spend years looking for speed, explosiveness, you don't trade it away once you find it. I understand we all like Jalen Waddle. Oh, we're going to love seeing Waddle play. It's going to be awesome to see him play. But when you talk about the depth, don't you want to have another explosive player on the field?
Can't hurt.
Won't hurt. I mean, just the plays that he made 2 years ago against Cleveland, that 98-yard catch and run. Last year, big play after big play after big play when he had the opportunity. And my biggest one that I saw from him was against New York with the comeback. 3rd down and 11, back shoulder pass. Who came up with that rock? Hey, Broncos down by 3. You need a miracle in order to win. Bo Nix throws an errant pass. Not that accurate, but who's right there to catch the ball? Marvin Mims. So you don't want to go and trade away a guy like that. Oh, and by the way, we're playing Kansas City. We need to flip the field. Who does that? It gives you that momentum. Exactly. So when you have a player like that, a 2-time Pro Bowler, somebody who's been an All-Pro twice, you don't trade that away. You give yourself every opportunity to be able to win. Because when you look at the Super Bowl teams, you had that. You had that. You remember what happened back in the 90s, right? 97, 98. Now, Dante, I don't know how old you are. But, I remember that with back-to-back Super Bowls. Darren Gordon was doing this thing, returning kicks, returning punts. You tell me you don't want that? Jordan Norwood even in the Super Bowl. The longest return, I believe is at the time, maybe it's still the longest return in Super Bowl history, punt return. You need that. So if you have a guy like Marvin Mims, especially as games get tighter and tighter and closer, if you can have a guy who get the ball, secure the rock, get you at least a first down, maybe more in a return, maybe even take one to the house like you did last year against the Raiders, you make sure that you keep that guy on the staff. And you figure it out. You figure out a way how to keep him aboard. You don't go and trade him away.
Got to keep him happy as well, because I think he wants to be more involved on offense, and I don't know if the Broncos have the same vision for him offensively. I think they're on the same page special teams-wise, but he wants to get paid like a wide receiver, and I'm not sure the Broncos want to pay him like a wide receiver or play him like a wide receiver.
Well, then you do what you got to do in special teams, and when you have the opportunities, even though there might be few and far between, you go and make them happen. That's exactly what you do. And to be honest, that's what he has done in his career. So to me, keep Marvin Mims. Keep him aboard. But hopefully you do see other guys step up. You see somebody else be able to go and make some plays. That'll be nice too. I would love to see Akeem Butler find a way to be able to be on the staff. Big body, 6'5", 227. And like you said today, made a great play. I would love to see him be able to make a play. Why? Because, again, it's that depth that you need on this roster.
He's a grinder, too. Obviously, if you look at the career path, you don't get there by accident. This guy's been working hard to get there. So it'd be great if the Broncos could reward him with that roster spot. Other big wide receiver, Lil Jordan Humphrey. God, he looks so big out there at practice. I don't know what it is, but even amongst a field of massive athletes and that can jump over the moon and run, whatever, he just looks like a different beast out there. He did have the one, I believe it was the one penalty of the day, a little false start, a little flinch when he was lined up outside. But other than that, incredibly clean operation, offensively, defensively, hands-on coaching and everything like that. But there was no moments of stopping practice to, ream somebody out because they're doing something dumb. It was a very fluid practice. It just went very easy for those guys. And not easy in terms of not working hard, but easy in terms of we're going to do the drill, we're going to do it right, and then we're going to move on to whatever's next.
Really efficient practice.
Efficiency is, yes.
One of the things Sean Payton talked about today is you look at efficiency, you talk about efficiency. Obviously, you have a brand new play caller in Davis Webb. And there was a couple of interesting things that Sean Payton said just about that. He said it's not Davis Webb's system. It's not the Sean Payton system. It's the Denver Broncos system. We all bring everything together, say kumbaya, and keep it moving, right? But they also want to go and play complementary football. And I thought it was really interesting how it wasn't something where Sean Payton said, okay, Davis, this is how things have to go. At least is what he said at the podium today. But how it was something more organic. Davis Webb could change a couple of verbiage within the plays. He could bring a little bit of his style within there and then mix it all together for the benefit of the team. How do you think this is going to play out in the long term? Because for me, everything's all good, but it's all about what happens when things get tough. And trust me, play at Arrowhead Stadium, first game of the season, Monday night, everybody's juiced up and ready to roll. There's going to be some tough times in that one. Where do you see Sean Payton where it comes to him taking a hands-off approach? Or will he say at some point, okay, I got to step in on this drive, or I got to step in here?
I think it's going to be a work in progress for both guys. Sean Payton, for the first time, not calling plays and being a little more hands-off and not exactly having his hand on in controlling the game play by play. I'm sure that's got to eat at you. If you're used to doing something for 10, 20 years and all of a sudden you have a completely different role for your football team, that's got to be a big change for Sean Payton and big change for Davis Webb as well. He's going to be the guy that everyone's going to look to if the offense isn't doing well. And there was times even last year, I know this Broncos team went out and won 14 games, but there was definitely times, quarters, even games where this offense didn't look all that great. You can point to the Thursday night football game against the Las Vegas Raiders. You can point to was the Jets game this year where I think they won like 10-11. I can't remember if that was this year or last year, but either way, there was times when this offense did not look as good as it is capable of being. The first half against the New York Giants, goose egg. So Davis Webb is going to be the guy that everyone turns to and looks to when this offense isn't doing well. And is he able to withstand that criticism? Is he able to have a counterpunch when defenses, I assume, and I'm not in the coaching world, but I assume just like a quarterback for his first 6 starts, he's going to be able to do some stuff and do well. Defenses are going to figure you out a little bit. I assume it's going to be the exact same system for Davis Webb where he's going to be able to go out there and show some new flashy stuff and teams aren't really going to know what to expect from him. But you get to halfway through the season, there's a lot of film on you as a play caller, as an offense, and is Davis Webb going to be able to have that counterpunch and make sure that this offense can be successful for an entire 17-game regular season and into the playoffs?
Yeah, by the way, that Jet score you were talking about, 13-11.
13-11,
What
okay.
a game. What a snoozer. The biggest thing for this is going to be, for the Broncos this year, is consistency. And you look at Bo Nix, and he talked yesterday. Obviously, everybody has their eye on his ankle. And don't get me wrong, this is a very important season for him. $55 million per year, $60 million per year, important season for Bo Nix, right? Because you want to go and sign your quarterback early when you have the chance to, rather than signing him later because, well, then you got to deal with all that extra money and it hurts your cap. So you say, hey, wait. Let's go and sign him as soon as possible. But this is an extremely important year for him. It's not just Davis Webb that is under fire. It's not just Bo Nix's ankle that's under fire. But what it really comes down to is this. Hey, can you be more consistent? Bo, can you get into the game a little bit earlier? Can we get you off to faster starts? Because that's really what this season is going to be about, especially with the teams that you're playing in the first 6 games. You don't have time to fall behind and then trying to figure out a way how to claw yourself out from there and hopefully winning at the end. At Kansas City, you don't have time for that. I know Patrick Mahomes won't be 100%. I don't care what reports tell you. Patrick Mahomes will not be 100%. But still, you got to get off to a better start. We already know what Jacksonville did, right? The home opener against Jacksonville. You know how good that team's going to be. They show him that. Liam Cohen did his thing, man. Had a beautiful, beautiful game that he called when Jacksonville came in here and beat the Broncos. You know what the Rams are going to bring. You obviously know San Francisco on the road, how tough that's going to be. Same thing with the Los Angeles Chargers. Believe it or not, hey, Broncos, they struggle against the Chargers. So you already know what's going to happen there. Seattle at the crib on a short week, and then thank God you take on Arizona. And you and I could beat Arizona, okay?
All right, relax a little bit. I'm an Arizona guy.
You are?
Oh, did you know that?
I mean, I knew that, but
unfortunately, that is my
look, man.
My childhood rooting interest is the Arizona Cardinals.
Ever so often, you can give up your fandom for a year. How do you do it? How do you stay a fan of the Arizona Cardinals?
It's tough. It's difficult. You have to look for the little silver linings of, oh, wow, we played good in this portion of the game, or at least this player looked well. Or you got to sell yourself on Marvin Harrison having a bounce-back year after not being very good last year.
Oh, I can't wait for that Jacoby Brissett, Carson Beck quarterback competition this year. That's going to be awesome for you.
Yeah, that's going to be
Sorry.
exciting.
You got to deal with it. But look, in the first 6 games, to your point, right, you have a Thursday night game mixed in, Sunday night game in there as well. You start off the season on Monday night. It's critical for this team to be able to not just get off to a good start from a record standpoint, but to also make sure that your offense is clicking. And it's going to be difficult with the teams that you have to face. But to your point, this is going to be the biggest challenge for this roster, because if you do get off to a good start, let's say 4-2, you look at the rest of the schedule, you'll be all right. But if you don't get off to that good start, and you say 2-4, 1-5, it could be pretty much a worst-case scenario, to say the least. And you know what? With that in mind, CBS Sports came out with a wonderful article, and they said this: what is the best and worst-case scenario for every team? And you know they had to talk about the orange and blue. And we'll bring it to you coming up next on Denver Sports Tonight. Justin Adams, my man Dante Gomez, a man who's still crying that he's an Arizona Cardinals fan. We'll be right back.
14 wins wasn't enough. A #1 seed wasn't enough. So what'll it take for Bo Nix to become the most valuable player in the league?
If Bo is throwing for an extra 15 to 20 touchdowns and has an extra 1,500 yards on his resume, that's an MVP conversation for Bo Nix. That's what that leads to.
Yeah.
Because the team, we both say they're not going to win 14 games, but if you're winning 10, 11, 12, and you're fighting for the AFC West, and you're still in contention for the #1 seed in the AFC, and you have that kind of numbers and QB next to your name, that's default MVP conversation.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
It's hot out there. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for one of the hottest summers we've ever seen? It might be time to cut your air conditioner and draft a new high-performing air conditioning system that will keep you and your home cool and comfortable. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Looking for a way for your hard-earned money to work hard for you? Open a 13-month CD at 4.01% APY from Ent Credit Union. soon to be Wings Credit Union. With a minimum deposit of only $500, a 13-month term, and a guaranteed annual percentage yield of 4.01%, your future self will thank you. But hurry, this special rate is only for a limited time. Get started today at ent.com/CD special. Rate accurate as of June 1st, 2026 and subject to change without notice. Insured by NCUA.
Hey guys, your boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Most camera installers don't offer a guarantee. Vantage does. It's called Capture or it's free. If a Vantage system misses an incident in a zone they identified during your threat zone analysis, they'll refund the entire install. That's the kind of guarantee a company can stand behind, because your security system is designed around your property first, not pulled off a kit shelf. Invest in real security for your home. Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit vssicolorado.com today. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Colorado, do you hear that? Not really? That's the sound of your neighbor Gary mowing his lawn at 6 a.m. with his new electric lawn equipment. Gary got 30% off with a statewide discount on all new electric lawnmowers, trimmers, and leaf blowers. Don't sleep on this great deal. Statewide discount only through the end of 2026. Learn more at simplestepsbetterair.org. Again, that's simplestepsbetterair.org.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Robbie Dino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases, 300 trials. Let's face it, divorce is really impactful. You may have a controlling spouse. You may have a violent spouse. You may have been a victim of a domestic violence. You may be wrongfully accused of domestic violence. This all affects parenting rights. And let's face it, the kids are the most important. These are the things that need to be handled. They need to be handled appropriately by someone that's going to protect your kids and protect your rights. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com, 720-706-5151.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station, 104.3 The Fan.
Welcome back to Denver Sports Tonight. Justin Adams, Dante Gomez with you, taking you all the way up to 7 o'clock. For the next 5 weeks, the Broncos are off. Next time they will be on the field will be in training camp. They're moving to their brand new facility, and that thing looks nice. But with 5 weeks off, you got to get some content going. You got to figure out a way how to be able to go, develop a little bit of content. So CBS Sports came out with a great article, and it's the best worst-case outcomes for each team in the NFL. And when you look at the Broncos, because who cares about the Cardinals or Chargers or whatever, you look and you can see, okay, this is what they have as best case, worst case scenario for the Broncos. Dante, which one you want first, man? You want good news or bad news? Let's you do want best case Let's first. do best case. I like that. See, that's why I like you, brother. All right, best case scenario for the Broncos. Bo Nix doesn't skip a beat after recovering from the season-ending ankle injury he suffered last preseason. In fact, he's better than ever after the Broncos gave him another top-tier pass-catching weapon in Jalen Waddle this offseason. With R.J. Harvey taking a leap in year 2, love to see that, Denver's backfield improves and the offense becomes a high-powered machine. When paired with the defense, the Broncos earn the number 1 seed for the second consecutive year and find themselves playing in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 61. That's the best case scenario. What do you think about that?
That feels pretty accurate. I would add on to that maybe winning the Super Bowl, but other than that, no, I think it's exactly that. Maybe you can add in Bo Nix's top 5 for MVP, something like that. But no, it feels pretty accurate to what it could be.
Now, there's always the other side of the coin, right? Yeah, you got to go with the other side. Worst case scenario. Here we go. Nix is ready to go for week 1, but is less than 100% because of his ankle. His struggles to get on the same page with Jalen Waddle, well, he has plenty of struggles with that. And the running game continues to be non-existent as it was down the stretch last season, especially in the postseason. My goodness. As talented as the defense is, its numbers dip slightly from last year, tipping the scales in a negative direction. By the way, the worst of the worst case scenario, Kansas City bounces back and knocks Denver off its perch atop the division standings. All right, with those two things happen, what do you see is most likely to happen? The best case or worst case scenario, my friend?
I think it's actually the best case. Between those two options, I think Bo Nix is just such a gamer that he's going to figure it out with Jalen Waddle. I'm not too worried about that. And then their mention of the non-existent run game, I really think Jonah Coleman is the answer to that. Okay. And if J.K. Dobbins happens to go down with another injury, which I guess wouldn't be that surprising to anybody, but I think Jonah Coleman's ready to step in. R.J. Harvey, I believe he's going to take that leap. We saw him out there at practice today. He's twitchier. He's a little bit lighter, it looks like, as well, which maybe doesn't lean itself towards him being a better runner between the tackles, but I think that's what Coleman's there is for. So I think R.J. Harvey's going to be a weapon regardless, and I think Coleman's going to be a very good backup running back option if Dobbins were to go down.
Yeah, and we didn't include, R.J. Harvey and the catching ability that he has, too. There were several plays he made last year where he got the ball out the backfield, ran over a couple of guys. To me, the biggest one that he had was against the Bills in the playoffs in overtime. Caught something in the flat and just rolled down.
You give that guy some space, and he is going to make you pay.
He's a human bowling ball, I'll tell you that. Okay, look, here's my answer, okay? Long-term question, right? What if the worst-case scenario happened? Here's my answer, right? The Broncos would still be okay. They would. They would still be okay. Why? Because you still have Sean Payton. You still have Bo Nix. You still have a young roster for the most part. But here's the main part. You have stability in the organization. That's the biggest thing with this team, okay? The worst thing that could happen isn't missing the playoffs. The worst thing would be discovering that Bo Nix is not your franchise quarterback. And let me be honest with you, Dante. I don't see any evidence that we're headed in that direction. Think about what Bo Nix did from the first snap against Seattle. That didn't look pretty the whole time, but he made plays, and he lost that game close. And, frankly, if he would have got the ball back from what we know now about Bo Nix, probably could have won that game on the road. We've seen a guy last year in Bo Nix mature right before our eyes. And his mobility is kind of the cheat code in his game. But he has the leadership where you know when he has the ball, something good is going to happen, especially late in the game. But it comes back to the one thing for me, okay? It's just the consistency part. The worst case scenario for me this year would be that Bo Nix has the accuracy issues, all these other different things, starts turning over the ball, which has never been an issue with him before. Because everything that we've seen from him, other than the consistency, which is just the growth, right? He doesn't turn over the ball a lot. And so if he can continue to do that, continue to keep you in games, I don't see how this team doesn't get to the playoffs. And if you get to the postseason, anything can happen, especially with the defense that you have.
I will add on the best case scenario that we were talking about earlier. There is one negative that could come along with that best case scenario, and that's Davis Webb gets poached after 1 year of being the offensive coordinator here in Denver. So even in the best case scenario, there's probably some negatives there, but I also don't see that happening. With the negative situation, I guess it's you find out that Bo Nix isn't that franchise quarterback, and you have to go back to the drawing board, or you make him go into his 5th year as the Broncos coach or quarterback here, and you don't give him that mega deal because you still have some question marks there. But I think, again, we've seen Bo Nix throughout the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years here
Year number
in
3
Denver.
for the young man. Usually in the third year, that's where everything really comes together.
That's where everything clicks. And I think Shanahan had something about that where year 3 is when the quarterback fully has an understanding of that offense. And Bo Nix is just such a professional. He's such that CEO energy of he's going to give the PC answer. And most of the time. Every once in a while, he'll speak his mind truthfully, and that's when he feels like he needs to get that message out there. But he is not going to be the guy in headlines. You're not going to have a tweet at 3 a.m. Bo Nix does blank and blank, gets in trouble from it. Bo Nix, he takes this seriously, and with the seriousness that being a starting quarterback needs in the NFL. So I just don't see that worst case scenario. I think worst case scenario, we're looking at the Broncos sneaking into the playoffs as the 7 seed.
Okay.
I don't see this team missing the playoffs. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't at all. I mean, now it's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's tough, especially with the first 6 games of the season. And also, there's a lot of tiebreakers within that first 6 games. That's why it's so important. You got to go and get the dubs, right? You play against the Chargers on the road, Kansas City first game, right? Jacksonville's going to be one of those teams. Because remember, the Colts actually were really good. And then Daniel Jones pops his Achilles, and all that goes to, heck from there. But, I mean, that's going to be a tough division to win. Don't forget the Texans are in that division as well. So you got to make sure that if, say, Jacksonville's also fighting for a playoff spot, that you have that tiebreaker over them. That's how things could really pan out at the end of the year.
The Broncos are going to beat the Jags. I feel it in my bones, Justin. Yeah, they're going to get that revenge from last year. I think they were pissed about last year Jacksonville coming in here and kind of whipping them around a little bit. It wasn't that close of a game by the end of it. I think Denver's going to get their revenge. I'm not too worried about Jacksonville in that specific game. I think Jacksonville's going to be good. I think there's a good chance to go to the playoffs. But what is it, week 2?
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, the Broncos are winning that one.
Short week. Crazy things can happen. I'm just saying my bones are shaking a little bit. Like you feel it in your bones. I do too.
Yeah.
Little shaky a little.
Okay.
But to your point, I think they will win that game. We're not going to go down the line and talk about predictions or anything like that right now. But I could see them getting a dub. But it's going to be a close game. And that's why the one thing from the worst case scenario list really scares me. I get it, Jonah Coleman. I get it, R.J. Harvey. J.K. Dobbins is back. But, man, that running game has to be more consistent the whole season. Not just we kind of forget about it one game or, hey, Bo Nix is our leading rusher in the playoffs against Buffalo. You cannot have that. Now, you do want to go and use your quarterback's mobility, right, because that's what he does very well, and he really helps out your offense. But this 3-headed monster, somebody has to go and blossom from that group.
Would you call last year a consistent run game prior to J.K. Dobbins going down? Or would you say even those first 11 weeks there were some inconsistencies
Did it feel that way? I mean, even though he was a top 5 rusher, did it feel that way? I mean, as you watched the game, did it feel like, hey, the Broncos have a dominant run game? Because to me, it didn't feel that way.
Maybe not dominant, but it felt like I could trust them at least. Like, hey, if they hand the ball off to J.K. Dobbins 15 times, he's probably going to end up with 70-plus yards.
Okay, so if we're divvying out the runs, right? Because the Broncos threw the most last year out of all the teams in the NFL, right? You can't do that again this year. I would love to see 17 to 20 carries for J.K. Dobbins. Get Jonah Coleman, say about 7. R.J. Harvey gets the ball 5 to 7 times, somewhere around there. That's a lot in an NFL game.
That's a lot of run plays.
Maybe 15. Yeah, to your point, maybe it is 15. Maybe J.K. Dobbins only gets 15 carries.
And maybe that's what's best for him, to keep him healthy throughout the year. Maybe you don't want to burn him out too early. And R.J. Harvey, his touches are going to come all kinds of ways. I truly believe they're going to use that guy all over the field. I think we're going to see him line up at wide receiver during moments this year.
Well, there you go. And then you matched up against a linebacker. And you know what? If you could go and have R.J. Harvey outside against the linebacker, I'm taking R.J. Harvey 10 times out of 10. I don't care what linebacker that is. But that's what you got. And that's what you could be able to do. I mean, think about this offense quickly. You could be able to go and have R.J. Harvey on the outside. Oh, by the way, he does pretty good at pass block, too, so you can have him there, too, right? So you don't have a tell, right? He does great in pass pro. But you can have him there on the outside. You can move around Jalen Waddle. You can move around Cortland Sutton. I mean, that's a really good offense that you're looking at. Like, that's not a problem at all. I actually like that.
It's kind of funny how we went from last year, Bo Nix doesn't have enough weapons around him, and now this year we're going into it like, oh, he might have too many weapons around him. There's going to be too many mouths to feed because we haven't even talked about him in the first segment. Your guy Marvin Mims, though. He wasn't even a part of your little imagination of the Broncos offense there. You throw him in there. You throw Troy Franklin, who had a great year last year too. I think there's going to be a lot of weapons on this team. And also we haven't talked about Evan Ingram, who a lot of people are expecting to have a bounce-back year. So I think this offense and Davis Webb, he's going to be able to do some fun stuff with this offense. It's not just going to be line up and go out and play. They're going to be able to move around their chess pieces to however they want, find that mismatch.
And this is the way that you attack on offense. You'll be able to go and attack fondly, take it to the other team rather than relying on your defense to keep the game close until your quarterback figures it out at the end and then wins it with a last-second drive. That's what you got to do. Okay, look, I know football is extremely important around here, and sports can also bring communities together. And you know what? That's exactly what's happening this weekend in Denver. I'll tell you how. Coming up next, Denver Sports Tonight, Justin Adams, as well as Dante Gomez. We'll be right back.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drives Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last up, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Okay, I admit it. At 303 Law 4040, we like to have a little fun with the made-for-TV lawyers who pretend that they're from Colorado. In reality, they live in places like Chicago, Arizona, Texas. Heck, one guy flies in from New York City. New York City! Just so he can do his commercial and fly back home. Crazy thing happening here in Colorado. Outside private equity funds are pouring millions of advertising dollars to prop up these guys and get them to pretend they are local voices that you can trust. So what really happens when you call one of those pretend made-for-TV lawyers? Here's an example. A young man was hurt. He called one of those guys. The insurance company said, nah, we're denying the claim. No money for you. His made-for-TV lawyer said, sorry. So his friend said, you need to call 303 Law 4040. We took the case and told the insurance company their denial was BS. And they said, you're right. Here's all the money. If you've been injured, don't waste your time calling a pretend made-for-TV lawyer. Call 303 Law 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. It's 303 Law 4040.
Colorado weather can be unpredictable, but your roof doesn't have to be. When hail, wind, or storm damage strikes, trust Colorado's Best Roofing. Locally owned and operated since 2012 and a proud GAF AF Master Elite contractor with an A-plus BBB rating. They provide expert roofing solutions for both residential and commercial properties and work with all insurance companies. Don't wait for a small problem to become a costly repair. Schedule your free roof inspection today and get the peace of mind you deserve. Visit roofingcolorado.com.
This summer, all roads lead to Groove Toyota in Inglewood during our Summer on Us sales event at the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro. New Tacoma's only $349 a month lease. GrooveToyota.com. New Tacoma's only $349 a month lease and soon. Hurry into Inglewood to Groove Toyota before the best Tacomas are gone. Groove Toyota. Start here. Go anywhere.
Closed end lease for 36 months with $34.99 due at signing. Zero security deposit on approved credit. Call 720-961-4465 for complete details. Offer expires 6/30/26.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinion. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Ditch the bland, flavorless sports talk and tune into Freshly Grated, where Will Peterson and Marcello Romano serve up piping hot takes and bold opinions with no filter and an extra side of sarcasm. Every weekday at 2 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Like and subscribe today at Denver Sports 104.3 and come along for the ride. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station.
Going to happen at Coors Field. The Rockies are going to begin a 3-game set against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I know that the record for the Rockies aren't that good, but they're in transition. They have a direction, okay? They're in transition. Even though right now they're getting pounded by the Cubs, they're still in transition, okay? But one of the guys that's going to be honored is Theodore Bubbles Anderson. And if you have never heard of Theodore Bubbles Anderson, he is the only Coloradan to play in the Negro Leagues. He played in the Negro Leagues from 1922 to 1925. And he also played for a team called the Denver White Elephants, which are the longest-lasting all-black baseball team. From 1915 to 1935, the Denver White Elephants were playing baseball. And one of the great things about the White Elephants that I love the most is they were owned by Albert Henderson Wade Ross, or A.H.W. Ross. And if you go down to 5 Points, there's a building by the name of the Rossonian. There's just some money that's been poured back in. The Rossonian's going to get a nice little, facelift, and it should be open in 2 years. But the Rossonian had everybody. And when you talk about great musicians, jazz musicians, they had everybody there. It was really the epicenter, especially for African Americans in Colorado. When you wanted to see entertainers, that's where you went. So that was owned by A.H.W. Ross, Albert Henderson Wade Ross. But when you look at Bubbles Anderson, you're looking at somebody who's a Colorado sports pioneer, somebody who's truly a trailblazer, and he was also inducted into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame last year. I had the pleasure of being able to go and really advocate for him to be in. It took me 8 years advocating for him to be able to go and get into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. Well, on Friday, the Rockies, I'm a little bit emotional over this, so forgive me, but the Rockies said, hey, we're going to go and honor Bubbles Anderson in a pregame ceremony. And this is extremely important because having the privilege of being able to go and tell the story of someone obviously I never knew. Bubbles Anderson died in 1943 of a gastric ulcer. His playing career was only 4 years. Played for several different teams in the Negro Leagues. Kansas City Monarchs, the famed Kansas City Monarchs, won a championship with them. Washington Potomac's, Indianapolis ABCs. But to be able to go and talk about him and to be able to see the Rockies take the next step and say this, they're going to honor him. This is important because it preserves our history, Colorado sports history. It recognizes the contributions that are often overlooked. I mean, be honest. You didn't know about Bubbles Anderson, most likely, until right now. But for me personally, what gets me excited is the opportunity to educate the younger generation and the connection that sports has with community. When you look at baseball and the history of baseball in Colorado, it dates back all the way to the 1800s. But to know that a guy who played baseball in the 1920s, we're talking about over 100 years ago, is going to be honored on Juneteenth of all days at Coors Field with a pregame ceremony, Dante. It's awesome. And it's a great feeling. It's great to know that. And my hope is that people just don't learn about Bubbles Anderson on Friday, but that they also learn about the white elephants. They learn about all the other different things that happened during the time. They learn about the Denver Post tournament, which was the first integrated tournament in American sports history. I hope that everybody will be able to go and take away something pretty great from that.
Oh, that was very cool, and I appreciate you enlightening me on it because I wasn't familiar with who he was either until you were telling me about him earlier today. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to you for being able to educate others on his story and making sure that he's honored in the right way down at Coors Field this Friday. So very cool event. And if anyone's going down there, make sure to, I'm assuming, is he getting honored before the game, during the game? So
he's going to get honored before the game. And so make sure that you arrive early.
That's what I was just going to say.
Please arrive early. They told me about 20 to 30 minutes beforehand, they're going to have a ceremony with him. And it's going to be awesome to be there with my wife and my 2 kids, and just to be able to see that. Have a couple other people too who I'm trying to invite to make sure they get on the field as well. There's a great article in the DenverRite that talks about just the journey to be able to get someone who not a lot of people knew to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, but to see the Colorado Rockies go and say we want to honor him is the step that this team needs to take, and the step that they're doing to go in the right direction. Even though the record doesn't look well right now for the Rockies, they are in the right direction. And that's the main thing, is that they have a direction. They have a compass in many respects. They know where they want to go. And to be able to honor the past heroes is how you'd be able to go and have a great future, because sports are at its best when they bring people together. This Juneteenth, honoring Theodore Bubbles Anderson reminds us that the people who build our communities deserve to be remembered, celebrated, and honored. That's going to do it for tonight on Denver Sports Tonight. For everyone across Colorado, the Denver metro area, Mile High, what's going on? Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us. From my man, Dante Gomez, I'm Justin Adams saying so long, God bless, and I'll see you at Coors Field on Friday.